Hey everyone, it's low carb and keto nutrition specialist Amy Berger bringing you Keto Without the Crazy. Couple of quick business items before we get into today's topic. Speaking of Keto Without the Crazy, just a reminder that we now have merch. We have lovely items for all your Keto Without the Crazy needs. We've got coffee mugs, we have tote bags, shirts, sweatshirts, it's all good. Check out the Keto Without the Crazy Amy Berger swag store, merch store, link in the notes. Item number 2, the Keto Made Simple Masterclass from Dr. Westman and kind of from me too, from Adapt Your Life Academy, is coming in January. This is round 10 of Keto Made Simple, aka KMS. We've done this 9 times in the past. We've had several hundred people go through each time, so we've had a few thousand people come through. The results blow my mind every time. If you are struggling with keto, struggling to get consistent, struggling to make sense of all the noise, if you want to learn some keto without the crazy, if you want to learn a really simple, uncomplicated, realistic, sustainable way to eat keto, there's nothing better than the Keto Made Simple Masterclass. There's a link below in the notes. Enrollment opens January 8th, but you can get on the wait list. And if you get on the wait list, you will be notified as soon as it's open for enrollment. So do get on the wait list if you're interested. I got a little pro tip for you. In the Keto Made Simple class, it's video lessons with Dr. Westman, self-paced. You can do it from anywhere in the world. It's 100% online. There's also live sessions with Dr. Westman and with me, and you get 3 weeks of dedicated support in a private Facebook group that's only for people doing the Keto Made Simple course. If you don't use Facebook, you can still take the course. You get a richer experience if you use Facebook. But I know a lot of people don't like the Facebooks anymore, so you can do the class without Facebook, but it's really better if you do. And so the pro tip that I was mentioning is you get 3 weeks, and I'm in there answering individual questions, giving people advice, educating. We give you a ton of helpful guides and resources. And the price for the Keto Made Simple course, in which you get 3 weeks of dedicated attention from me and a team of other experienced admins, 3 weeks, the price of the course is less than 1 consultation with me privately. So if you have ever wanted to work with me, or if you are ready, like I said, to drown out the noise, and you want advice from one of the world's leading authorities in keto, and I don't mean me, I mean Dr. Westman, but I'm kind of in the background helping, do check out the Keto Made Simple. Like I said, it's round 10. If you need help with keto and you haven't done it one of the other 9 times, I don't know what you're waiting for, but now is your chance. On to the topic. Let's talk about calories. Can we talk about calories? So, you know that whole eat less, move more thing? Eat less, move more. I'm willing to bet that a lot of you watching this tried that. You probably tried it more than once. And some of you probably tried to go on a low calorie diet or a low fat diet. And there's a line in our book, End Your Carb Confusion, where we say something like, if calorie counting were an Olympic sport, some of you would have several gold medals hanging on the wall. Yeah. Some of you are absolute champion calorie counters. Did it ever get you where you wanted to go? Or if it did, some people do lose weight that way. Many people do. Did you keep it off? Did it last? Was it a permanent long-term solution? Probably not, or you wouldn't be watching a keto YouTube channel. I'm just going to guess. And so we also say something like, haven't you counted enough calories? Like if that worked, you wouldn't be in this situation. So I want to give you one of my favorite examples that just immediately busts the calorie thing. Have you ever been to a Chinese buffet? And I don't mean now while you're on a low carb or keto or carnivore diet, whatever you're doing out there. Pre-low carb days. Did you ever go to a Chinese buffet? When you go to the Chinese buffet, and I don't know if they have these overseas, these are big in the US, but overseas, I'm sure you have some kind of buffet. You go and you load up your plate and you polish that one plate off and you go back a second time and a third time, maybe even a fourth time. We are eating plate after plate of food. By the time you're done, you are so full, you feel like you're about to explode. You're practically in pain. You've eaten so much at the Chinese buffet, right? You are so full, you feel like you have to be rolled out into your car. You can barely even get up, right? No shame in that game. We've all been there. I've definitely been there, probably more than once. So you, between the rice, the noodles, all the dumplings, and the sugary sauces, and the oily sauces, and all the delicious stuff, you've probably eaten several thousand calories, right, in that one meal. You may have even eaten enough calories for 2 or 3 days. And yet, what happens? About 2 or 3 hours later, you're hungry, right? What is going on there? Were the thousands upon thousands of calories you consumed not enough to keep you feeling full or keep you feeling satiated for a day or two? So right there, it just demolishes the utility of counting calories as a long-term realistic solution. Because here you just ate a ton and you're hungry again. So your body doesn't understand calories. What matters much more than calories are the hormonal and biochemical effects of the food we eat. Not so much the quantity, but the types of food we eat, right? The refined sugars, the liquid sugar especially, the refined carbs, versus a ham and cheese omelet or a nice pork chop with some grilled asparagus or whatever kind of fatty protein, non-starchy vegetable thing. It's a completely different eating experience and fullness experience. And so, where am I going with this? Dr. Westman often says, and I often parrot him, calories count, but that doesn't mean you have to count them. And what that means is, if you're trying to lose weight, if your main goal or one of your goals in doing low carb or keto is to lose weight, then you do have to eat less than you're currently eating because or than you were eating previously, because whatever you were eating previously, you're either gaining weight or you're maintaining. You're not losing any. You've probably been at the same weight for a long time. So in order to lose weight, you have to eat less. And for many people, a ketogenic or carnivore, very low carb diet helps them do this naturally. We naturally eat less without having to count calories, without having to deliberately limit the amount of food we're eating. Because because of those hormonal and biochemical effects of the lower carb foods, our appetite is so much more well controlled that many of you out there probably eat 2 meals a day, not because you're deliberately skipping the third meal, you're just not hungry. 2 meals a day are enough to keep you feeling satisfied and well. Some of you maybe even eat 1 meal a day. And so, but you do this not because you're deliberately withholding food from yourself. You're just not hungry. And that's one of the beautiful things about a low carb or ketogenic way of eating, is that it helps to do this. You eat less without deliberately trying to eat less. Now, it doesn't work that magically for everybody, right? If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that I have a problem with pork rinds and mayonnaise. I can't have them in my house because even though they're 0 carb, I will gorge on them. And this is kind of where, so ultimately calories do matter. If you have read End Your Carb Confusion and you've seen the phase 1 food list, or if you're familiar with Dr. Westman's page 4 food list, there's a reason that the added fats and oils are limited. Like butter is not unlimited, olive oil, avocado oil, they're not unlimited. Cheese is not unlimited. There's quantity limits because it's very easy to overdo these things. So if you are one of those people like me for whom keto has probably had a significant beneficial impact on your appetite, but it didn't get you all the way. You're still having trouble losing weight, or you still know you're overeating, even on low carb foods, even on foods that are very, very low in carbs, you're still just eating too much to facilitate weight loss. So something that I have discovered for myself recently is that you have to eat foods that don't make you want to keep eating. And I have to explain what that means because it sounds like a loaded phrase, but it's not really. When I say eat the foods that don't make you want to keep eating, it doesn't mean that you sit down to your meal and you just have 1 or 2 bites and you're done. No, we should want to keep eating until we are just comfortably satisfied, right? Not stuffed, not full, not so full that now we're regretting, I shouldn't have had those last 6 bites. Oh my goodness, I should have stopped 10 minutes ago. It's natural human eating behavior to want to eat more, but eat more until you reach that point of satisfaction. Compared to foods that you do not have an off switch for. You just want to keep going and going and going. And again, even if they are perfectly suitable low carb foods, you can't eat an unlimited quantity of them and still expect to be losing body fat. So you have to identify what are the foods that you can eat and they don't make you want to keep eating. Like once you reach that point of comfortable satisfaction, you stop. You probably already know some of the foods that are problematic for you. You know what your binge foods are. You know what the trigger problem foods are. It might be a little more difficult to identify the foods that really work for you in terms of you're able to eat enough and then stop. And you still can love these foods. You can absolutely, they could be delicious. I'll give you an example from my own life. Bacon and eggs. I love bacon and eggs. I love bacon and everything actually, but let's say bacon and eggs. Put a little bit of salt on there, or I make a homemade sugar-free ketchup. Oh, it's so good. But I don't want 4 plates of that. I can have a reasonable portion and I'm done. I get up and go about my day. Compare that to, I have a whole shelf full of keto cookbooks back there that I love to look at. I love to look at the pictures, but a lot of those recipes, I don't make them because I know that I would polish off the whole tray. A keto lasagna, a keto whatever. It's keto, great. That doesn't mean I can eat the entire pan of it. Well, not and still lose weight, right? So it's with the bacon and eggs example, it's not that I only eat a little bit because I don't like it that much and I get bored and I kind of don't want anymore. It's delicious. I enjoy it. It's pleasurable. It's a great food and it's nutritious. Like it's a great thing to eat, but it doesn't provoke the more. I think there's even a word, they call it moreish. This food is moreish because like you just want more, you know? So I encourage you to start paying attention to identify those foods. You probably know your trigger foods, and if you don't, start paying attention to that too. What foods do you tend to go overboard on, or do you notice that you really have a hard time stopping? And then what foods don't have that effect on you? What foods can you eat? And again, foods that you actually like. Nobody should force themselves to eat food they don't like just to limit. We should limit not because we don't like the food, but because that food naturally, hormonally, biologically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, gives us a very comfortable, complete feeling, and then we don't need anymore. I hope that makes sense. So eat the foods that don't make you want to keep eating. And then I have a friend, Yvonne Moore, who is an OBGYN, so this is coming from an MD. She has a great phrase. She says, eat the foods, or love the foods that love you back. Love the foods that love you back. And if a certain food gives you heartburn, or you eat it and the next day you wake up with joint pain or brain fog or a migraine or a skin breakout, that food does not love you back. You might love it. It's delicious. It definitely gives you that jolt of joy and pleasure, at least in the, 5 minutes when you're eating it. But it doesn't love you back if it affects you that way. So again, find foods that don't do that to you. Love the foods that love you back, and eat the foods that don't make you want to keep eating. And it's been really helpful for me. The bacon and eggs was just one example. There are several others that I just feel really good about what I'm eating lately, and I don't feel deprived. I'm not forcing myself to eat things I don't like. I'm starting to, center in and identify really those foods that I enjoy, I love them, they love me back, and they're not moreish. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Please, join, give me that little thumbs up button, hit the like button, check out the merch store, and I do consultations. There is a link in the notes to every video, so if you want to book a private call, info down below, and you could do the Keto Made Simple Masterclass, which is less than a consultation with me, but you get more of my time. Okay, I'll see you next time, and spread the message of keto without the crazy. Feel free to share these videos everywhere. Okay, take care.